Hello everybody. I'm on a couple minutes early. I'm hoping to see Stephanie and see if I can add her as a presenter. So we'll see how that works. Don't really know how to do it. There she is. Hi, Steph. Think I'm making you a presenter. Did that do something on your end to make you go live? Why did you decline to go live? You're supposed to say hello to your friends. Hey, Deborah. We're trying to let me get things running here. Okay, we are recording. We are live. Yay, there's Stephanie. Hi. Yes. Hi. All right, let me get the screen share. We are broadcasting in not one, but two places tonight. Let's see in the
I'm losing your sound.
I'm losing everything right now. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. All right, Deborah, if you're on, you should be able to see my screen. Yes? Good. I can't hear you, just so you know. But feel free to type into the chat box if you've got questions, and I'll monitor that. So, Stephanie, it looks like just you and me. Looks like Mandy Shelton may have joined us.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you kick this off since this is primarily your audience, and then I will add in the rest about me and how they're going to proceed through this training.
Okay, well, I'm not real sure what all to say, but thank y'all for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. I'm excited as I'm starting to learn more about the essential oils and how they can help our, getting rid of the toxins in our lives and help our furry friends and ourselves. And I feel like I'm learning a lot and really excited to learn more and share it with everybody.
Awesome. So my name is Dana Brigman. Stephanie is actually a client of mine as a dog trainer with Jack and Brady. They came, was it last summer that they were here?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was.
So I hope they're still doing very well now that they have relocated to Florida.
They're getting there. The transition's been a lot, but they're getting there.
Stephanie got interested in essential oils in part because I use them a lot in the dog training, and she wound up buying a kit sometime later and now has decided that she's interested in sharing the resources and the information with her friends and family to try and grow a business of her own. So this is presentation 1 for her. I'm actually going to be doing the delivery so she can participate and jump in, but she's going to help me monitor the questions on Facebook Live. I'm on the Zoom call. For some reason, there were folks that were just a little reluctant to try Zoom. I'll share with you that it's actually easy and fun. You could turn off your video and just chat in the boxes just like you do on Facebook Live. The value to Zoom is you actually get to see the PowerPoint presentation, and those of you on Facebook Live won't see that. So after the call, or while you're on the call, go register, and I will send you a copy of the replay to watch at your leisure. Okay? So tonight really is about Stephanie being our host. So if anyone decides to sign up to participate in the starter kit or to buy some products, it's going to be under Stephanie's name, not mine. And so reach out to her with any follow-up questions. You can reach out to me. I'm just going to use her number should we wind up having some folks interested in purchasing. I'll also add that, what was I going to say? You know, people sometimes are not ready to dive in head first to this thing. So she and I will both offer an opportunity. If you just want to buy something to try, like I've been dying to try this oil or the thieves cleaner or the whatever, but I'm not committed, reach out and we'll get you in what's called a quick order on our account and let you try some stuff. Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about trying to detoxify our home and trying to detoxify our lifestyles. So I'm going to share some things with you tonight that many of you may not have heard before, and some resources that you can go to learn some new things. But the idea is, if we are all on a journey to be as well as we can be with our health, and whether that's the babies in your home, the geriatrics in your family, or your pets, there is something in this process for everyone. And we're going to introduce a little bit more about that to you tonight, okay? And show you what some alternative options are. So I want you to think about our organ, the skin, and how much it is exposed to every single day. It is generally said that we as women expose ourselves to about 800 potentially toxic chemicals. 300 toxic chemicals every single day. They're in our cleaning products, our beauty products, our bath, our kitchen, our laundry, and so on. We're going to talk about a few of those tonight and why they may be troublesome for us. But remember that all of that is being absorbed into our skin. It is reaching into the cells of our body and potentially creating damage that could cause us some very serious illnesses in our lives. And this is true for everybody in the family, right? So if we think about detoxifying our home and detoxifying the products that we're using, it's because we are starting to see as an entity of humans and pets, lots more allergies, potential birth defects, cancer, infertility, learning disabilities, reproductive problems. Don't know why that's separate from infertility, but you get the point. And a number of other health issues that just make us unwell. So whenever somebody calls me and talks about, you know, skin issues or allergy issues or digestive issues, it's often a gut-based issue. We also talk about when they get a diagnosis of something that means they are unwell, getting rid of these chemicals, starting with as much clean product and clean air and that go into our bodies. You may not realize that the FDA does not require vendors who make products to disclose their list of ingredients if they call it a proprietary blend or a proprietary ingredient. Yesterday, I was consulting at someone's home, and their dog has some severe skin issues. And we started talking about all these environmental things, and she brought out a bottle of $7 shampoo that she had gotten at the mega retailer here in town. And the first ingredient was natural ingredients, natural cleansing agent. What is that? I went to look it up. I couldn't find anything. What is a natural cleansing agent? So they don't have to disclose. They don't have to disclose what their ingredients actually are, and it should be a warning sign to us that if we can't find the ingredients, that there's something in there that's potentially harmful. And we're going to talk about more about what some of those are as well. Be aware also that there is a lot of synthetic fragrance that goes into many products. There's even synthetic flavors, right? So start to be aware of that and just pay attention to the things that you are using. There is a lot of misleading information going on around us as well. If you'll start paying attention to marketing and listen to the words, listen maybe even to what's not being said, you'll start to identify that there's some potential for concern there. I was watching a advertisement this morning for the new Beneful dog food, and it talks about chicken, and then it said accented with pumpkin and blueberries. Well, what does accented mean? Are they even in there? And I went and looked at it. It is sort of, they waved some pumpkin and some blueberries at the product and used that as a marketing thing to draw us in and say that that's potentially a healthy food. And it's not. Frankly, Beneful is dangerous. So just be aware of the marketing spin that goes on. So we've all had toxic relationships and whatnot, and we eliminate those people from our lives, or at least I hope you. It's taken me a while. Stephanie, if you're showing, can you hit mute?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I was going through the slides.
That's all right. I just hear some rattle in the background, and I don't want it to tap out the voice.
Sorry.
So we get rid of toxic people. We should be getting rid of toxic products in our, or toxic chemicals in our products. So think alcohols, think color pigments. I'm going to talk about that. Heavy metals, parabens, phthalates. We're going to review these a little bit and tell you what some of them are. So let's think about alcohol. And there's one is like a drinking alcohol, and it actually has the potential to create alcohol-like symptoms, right? It's in our mouthwash, right? If you buy a bottle of cheap essential oil, so when you go somewhere and all the essential oils are $4.97, no matter what the oil essence is, something's up. Something's not right about that, because they don't come that way. They don't grow that way. And they are not processed that way when you're trying to get to a pure oil. So you may actually get a smell of alcohol that is used as a stretcher to create more volume out of the plants that they harvested. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, the government of France audited the lavender producers in France. They produced, I believe it was 10 tons of lavender, actual plant matter. They sold enough lavender essential oil that it should have taken 100 tons to produce. So what was the variance? It is something synthetic, something not real, and alcohol might be one of those components. So alcohol, when compared to, I'm just going to read the slide since some of you can't see it. When compared to regular drinking alcohol, the leading brand of mouthwash we're talking about contains high ethanol concentrations of 21.6% in flavored products and 26% in original products. If you were to drink a beer, you're only getting 3 to 7%. So what's in your mouthwash, right? A whole lot more alcohol. All right. Parabens. This is another very dangerous additive to our products. It's banned in Japan and Sweden and by the European Commissions. It's found in many of our skincare products, lotions, creams, deodorants. It's used as a germicide and a preservative. It may not be labeled as such, but that's in part what it is intended to do. It mimics estrogen in our bodies. and it can bind to our cellular estrogen receptors. So go back to those potential fertility or reproductive issues, and there could be a problem there. It increases the expression of many genes that are usually regulated by natural estrogen, estradiol it's called, and it may cause human breast tumor cells. So that's serious stuff, y'all, right? I mean, that is seriously bad stuff. A couple of weeks ago, I pulled out, and this is a website you guys will want to go to. It's ewg.org. E as in elephant, W as in winter, and G as in go away. Stephanie can probably rattle off my military alphabet for me, but ewg.org. They actually have an app that you can download on your phone and pick up a product that has a barcode on it and scan it real time, and it'll tell you what it thinks about that product and the rating and the potential risk. So we scanned my cousin's grandchildren's sunscreen from the local mega retailer. It's their brand. We scanned it, and it was cancer risk after cancer risk after cancer risk. And she's like, oh my God, we're putting this on our children. So be aware that there are products that we use every single day, from makeup to sunscreen to cleaning products, that might have these chemicals in them. The F, D, and C color pigments. I want to minimize my screen just a little bit. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. F, D, and C color pigments. These are things that make our products red or orange or burgundy, right? These are not natural colors that would come into that. They are synthetic colorings. There are preservatives in there in a sodium benzoate. And it can be associated with hyperactivity in humans. I'll also share with you a similar topic as we think about color pigments. If we start looking at our cosmetics, you'll often see something written as animal-derived ingredient. Well, if you're like me and you're like, I don't want animal body parts on my face, then you want to dig a little deeper into that. So one of the things that potentially goes into our makeups that creates color is called guano, G-U-A-N-O. Does anybody know what that actually is?
I do.
I know you do. Anybody else have a guess what it is? If you read my Facebook post today, you know. It's bat poop. Bat poop. Who would have ever come up with putting that on our face? It's the stuff that makes makeup sparkly and shimmery, and it goes in a lot of powders. You'll also find it in the dyes, like I said, things that make, and that we're changing to animal-derived ingredients. But if you think about something showing up red in your lipstick, for example, it's typically coming from an insect. They're using insect body parts to create those dyes to make those colors. All right. In our makeup, in our lipstick, there's something called tallow, T-A-L-L-O-W. Any guesses what that is? It is boiled fat. So I remember as a kid hearing that there was horse fat or whale blubber in lipstick and makeup. And now I'm like, maybe that's true. But it's still happening today. It's still happening to us today in a lot of products. I'm going to share with you that Young Living now has a line that includes none of this stuff. But I want you to start looking. I want you to go read labels and dig up the brands you use and figure out the reality of those products. So I'm trying to scare you a little bit, but not too much. I just want to share the reality of all of this, right? Fragrance is another big thing. It's often something very synthetic, right? If we think about wax in a candle, it doesn't typically smell like apple pies. So something's going in there to create that scent, and it's a synthetic product. And nobody loves candles more than me, and I've used them for years. And I've used the little wax melter things that smell so fabulous until I started learning about how all this stuff comes together, because we inhale that. We have those particles drop on our skin or on our pets. It's been said that burning a candle, so a non-beeswax type candle, but a candle for an hour is the equivalent of smoking a cigarette. So if you're burning a candle in your home, everybody in there, including your dog, just smoked a cigarette, right? That's not okay. That's terrible stuff. These are carcinogens for us. And I know when I started learning about this, I eliminated all of that. And then you say, well, I want my house to smell good. Well, there are ways, there are better ways that we can show you how to do that. Other things that we find in our products are heavy metals. They're in a ton of vaccines that we give to our pets or to our children. I am not anti-vaccine, right? I'm just not. There are some things that we need and some things that we choose to say, nope, I'm not doing that one. The flu shot is one of those for me. I haven't had a flu shot and I can't tell you when, and I'm not going to. But, you know, I got a dog incident a few years back and got a tetanus shot, right? It was ugly. That was going to be bad ugly if I didn't get, you know, so there are things that we have to make educated decisions about whether we give them or not. One of the biggest controversial ones right now is the Gardasil for our teenagers. And I read recently, Stephanie, you might be interested in this, that in Pennsylvania, they are looking to require 7th graders to have that shot or to be kicked out of public school.
Wow, that's interesting.
Right? And so there's a lot of people saying, well, that law will never pass, right? They'll never get that through. There will be such a parental upheaval about it. But we need to be educated, and we need to make wise choices for us and our family. So no matter what you choose to do, it needs to be founded in your research and for you to make the best decision possible for you and your family. But aluminum, so we're still on this heavy metal topic. Aluminum is the number one ingredient in deodorant. It is the thing that makes antiperspirants work, for example. And we know there are studies, and if you get the PowerPoint presentation, you will see them. But there is study with PubMed that shows it has a contributing effect on Alzheimer's disease. That's scary. That's scary to me. I've used deodorant since I was 12 years old, right? I was listening to a naturopath who was talking about a consultation she had recently done with someone who was in their late 40s and was saying that they felt like they were struggling to retain things, like they were forgetful and missing some, and they were worried that there was concern about memory loss. And so they started diagnosing into what products this person was using, still using a aluminum-based deodorant. She eliminated that and other chemical products from, and I should say toxic chemical products, because essential oils technically are a chemical, right? But they cleaned up her environment. And within 2 weeks, she was retaining information and details better. So things can happen pretty quickly, right? We don't know what damage has already been done, but certainly once we know that there's the potential to make our health and wellness better, I, for one, have decided that I'm going to make as many positive changes as I can and manage my budget accordingly, to maximize that as quickly and as efficiently and as budget friendly as I can do. All right. I'm going to skip over, well, I won't. Polyethylene glycol, you may have heard this. It's found in baby products. It's in deodorant. It's in lotion, shampoo, sunscreen, toothpaste. It is linked to dermatitis, kidney damage, and potentially even seizures. It may actually damage cell membranes. It can create rashes, dry skin, and other skin damage type issues. Phthalates is a big one. This word is P-H-T-H-A-L-A-T-E-S. It's pronounced phthalates. It is the chemical that goes in plastics that make them pliable. So rather than have hard plastic, some of them are more flexible, even things like vinyl shower curtains. So phthalates are in these plastic, and yet we put them on and therefore in our bodies. It's been studied that so there's been animal studies about this, and it can cause fetus to develop inappropriately. It can affect male reproduction organs, and it can cause a decreased birth rate. That is. In children, scientists have observed that phthalates may place a developing fetus at an increased risk for change in the male reproductive organ. It changes reproductive hormones, increase allergies, and it may increase eczema in our children. In adults, it may be associated with sperm quality. So now we're still on this reproductive health issue, right? So not good. These are not good things. Once we know that they're potentially dangerous for us, why would we continue to use them? All right, so you kind of get the idea. There are more. Ask for the PowerPoint presentation. But they're in all of our products. They're in things that we use every day. So how can you start to reduce your exposure to this? One is fresh air, right? Get air circulating in your home. Don't keep the windows and all closed up. If you're like me and it's been 100 degrees here in North Carolina and your air conditioning struggled to keep up, you're not opening the door. So you need to try and keep your products as clean as you can, right? And that's where, in my opinion, our essential oils products come in. You can diffuse essential oils and get fabulous fragrance in your home. You're also getting the added benefit of mood enhancer, right? An immunity boost, something that is soothing or calming or uplifting, and things that really support every system in your body without having any of these other side effects or these other additives that are toxic chemical based going into our systems. I'll share with you that when you diffuse any essential oil, and we want to use the purest oil only, so please don't go to the local mega retail where everything is the exact same price. If I want you to use Young Living, to me, and go look at the Seed to Seal video. You can find that link out on my website. It is seed2seal.com. And it will show you how Young Living owns their process from the very start of planting the seed and the organic quality of that seed through the growth, through everything that goes into and onto the land. There are no pesticides, no fertilizers that are not natural into that. The harvest is very controlled and very specific. The bottling process is also very controlled and very specific to know that the quality of those products is pure.
And Dana, can I just interject and say that's one of
Yeah.
the things, that's one of the biggest things that I liked and why I chose Young Living was because of the quality and because of how they are doing everything from the ground up. They're
Right.
involved in every single step and process, and that was very impressive to me.
Yeah. And so in that regard, they're going into countries around the world and helping them develop businesses, right? They're rebuilding communities, for example. I can share a lot of stories about that with you. But if there is a partner that they're trying to bring on who has a crop and it doesn't meet the grade, for example, they will help that farmer, if the farmer's willing, improve the system and improve the process and potentially become a partner for Young Living. There are some that they can't do that with because there is so much contamination of the soil, for example. But they are very committed to not just the good products, but to the people who are growing and producing and harvesting those products. So it's a really awesome company. They're providing shoes to children in Ecuador, for example, or Ethiopia. And it's just a give back and a give back and a give back. And I also see them give back to their members in some pretty amazing ways as well. So the seed to seal, there is nothing that compares to that. But did you know when you see a bottle of essential oil and it says pure therapeutic grade, and again, I'm going to reference the local mega retailer. If you go look at a bottle of lavender, it will say on the bottom, skin irritant. That's concerning. It ought to be an alarm for all of us because lavender is by design, by nature, soothing and supportive to the skin. So now you've taken a product that is supposed to be beneficial to the skin, done something to it that now makes it unusable. In that respect, it has become fragrance only. There's something synthetic in there that makes it not. I was ringing. I didn't want
I think
it to throw me out.
oh,
Am
I
I
lost
here?
your. Now you are.
Yeah. So my
Now
phone rang. I poked it real quick. All right. Anyway, let's get to the meat of this. I have an opportunity to send you some do-it-yourself recipes if you're interested. Those of you on Facebook Live who are watching this, you can't see my screen, so message me, sign up, go hit register, and I'll email you a copy of all of this. But let's talk about where we are with Young Living. We've talked about the seed to seal. We know that their products are safe, their products are pure. I hear a lot of people say sometimes, oh my God, tea tree, can't use tea tree. And it's one of the most adulterated products out there. And you'll hear people say you should never use peppermint on your children, but yet people all over Young Living are doing that. Again, make your own smart, wise decisions based on your research, but with carrier oil proper dilution, there's a place, a time, and a reason that you can use these, knowing that they are pure and there's nothing in them that is going to create harm when used properly. So that's an important caveat to that, right? You're never going to want to go just rain down peppermint on your kid. I read somewhere recently where somehow in a reported incident of peppermint overdose, basically some mother had somehow given her child 15 milliliters of peppermint. That's a lot, right? That's a crazy amount. And so, of course, there was a reaction. You would have a reaction if you had ingested that much at any given time. So just be aware of of the whole story when you hear some of the dramatic things that are going or being said. So let's talk about the thieves cleaner. This is the one that's captured a lot of people that I've talked to. The thieves cleaner is a product that will basically eliminate every other cleaning product in your home. In your kitchen, in your bath, your floors, stains on your furniture, dusting with it. It offers an immunity boost to your home environment as well, meaning when we go out into the real world and it's full of crud and whatnot, and the children are bringing it home from school and so on, thieves, if we diffuse that, or we ingest it because it's part of the vitality line, or we rub it on and make a big inhale or add it to something, it helps promote immunity to our systems. And it also is great at cleaning every surface in your home. It feels expensive, so a bottle as a member of Young Living, I believe, is right at $22 or $23. That bottle feels expensive when you say, I can go buy a bottle of whatever for $2.99, right? But that bottle of 22 ounces is going to make 22 30-ounce bottles. So it comes out to about $1 a bottle. If you buy the 64-ounce bottle, it comes out even less, about 88 cents. So you can't beat that. And then especially when you say, I'm on a journey to make my home as healthy as possible and to eliminate from my environment things that could make us sick, or when you're trying to support someone who has already gotten a serious diagnosis of being very unwell and you want to try and help boost things back onto their health, it's a no-brainer. In the Thieves line, there is laundry soap, there is mouthwash, toothpaste, hand purifier, hand soap, cleaner. What am I missing, Stephanie? I think that might be
fruit and vegetable wash. That's a big one. Mouthwash.
Yeah. There are even lozengers. So like if you've got cold or sore throat, the lozengers help support how your throat feels as well. So the cleaner is super fantastic. It's what I use to clean the kennel building with. So I've got dogs out and we clean our entire kennel building with it. I know veterinarians. My aromatherapy teacher is a veterinarian, and it's what she cleans her hospital with. So it's super fantastic.
I was skeptical, I'm not going to lie, about using it on windows and mirrors. I thought, oh, it's going to streak, but it didn't. I was really impressed, and I really, really enjoy using it, and it smells great.
It does. It's kind of a little clovish. It's got lemon in it. It's got frankincense and all sorts of things, and it does smell really, really good. And so if you were to get the starter kit, there is a bottle of Thieves oil in it. When you buy the cleaners, it's actually sort of a different mixture. It's a concentrate that has other natural things in it that make it more economical than just using your oil. But if you want to get started with your first bottle of cleaner and you wanted to buy the starter kit, for example, you can make your first bottle out of the oil itself with no trouble. All right, I'm changing down screens. I have recipes for the cleaners. I know a lot of people say, well, I need to bleach my whites, right? I need them to smell lemony fresh. You can create your own stain scrubs if you want to, using baking soda and lemon and the Thieves cleaner. There's a lot of recipes if you feel like you need to zhuzh up your cleaning products for things that feel more familiar to you, or to add some whitening support to your laundry. Just sometimes adding a little lemon and a little baking soda will help get those stains out and keep things and that's a personal thing, right? I don't bleach anything. I just pour the Thieves laundry soap in there and go on about my business. But I don't wear a lot of whites. You can increase the amount of concentrate that goes in there if you feel like you have a higher level of grease, for example, or a higher level of crud in your home, so to speak. If you like really want to get a much deeper cleaning, you can add more to it if you prefer. Even with like the hand soap, what most people do is buy a second pump, a second foaming pump, split it up, and then add water to both of those. So now they've used double. You get the same effect. It's just maybe not quite as foamy as it would have been originally, but you are still getting the health benefit and the cleanliness benefit. You're just expanding your ability to use that in more rooms of your house, for example, and to stretch it a little bit further without using inappropriate type stretchers. Does that make sense? Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'll also share with you that so Young Living has a deodorant. They have 2 different deodorant options. They have shampoos, a couple of different shampoo and conditioner choices. They have shower gel, one that is an energizing one for the morning. It smells very citrusy and it's fabulous. And then there's one that has more calming, think lavender-ish, peace and calming type scent to it if you're showering at night and you're ready to settle down. So there are products, there's soaps that you can use if you have blemishes and breakouts. There's soaps that you can use on your face. We now this summer announced a new sunscreen and a new bug repellent. So no DEET, no parabens, no nothing that is inappropriate, and yet all the benefits of repelling bugs and providing SPF is there. So really there's not a product that you use on a regular basis as a consumable product that you can't find a substitute for in the Young Living line, as far as I know. This summer, they introduced at their conference a brand new seedlings nursery line. So it is a baby lotion, a baby oil, baby wipes, a baby cleanser. There's coming a linen spray that's supposed to be out later this month.
Oh, great.
Yep. So you just sort of spritz the sheets or the bedding, for example, to soothe. I would use those in the dog's bedding if it were in it, because I do that. I make my own, right? But yeah,
I would use it every night too.
Exactly. And so just because it's labeled for the seedlings doesn't mean that we can't benefit from it as well. Many products have multiple purposes, and I'll give you another creative one. There is a men's line of grooming products, and they have one called the beard oil. The men's line is called Shutran, and there's a beard oil. And I was listening to a call not too long ago, and she's like, if you have frizzy, curly hair, right? She said, put the beard oil in it. And I want you to know it works. You just it's in a little dropper. You put a couple of drops in your hand and run it through your hair, and it is smooth, soft, and whatnot. My cousin came over the other night. I said, I want your opinion as a guy about this beard oil. So he's slathering it in his beard. He's like, it is not greasy. And it's not. And it doesn't smell like this rough, manly thing that that if you put in your hair, people are like, oh my God. It doesn't smell like that. It just smells sort of clean and crisp. So
I definitely need to try that.
Yeah, take a look at the seedlings line if you have babies, or even if you don't. I know people who have pets and their dogs are having like problems with their pads, or they want to keep the dog's pads clean when they come in from snowy, muddy areas. They're using the baby wipes on their feet. Somebody's dog had some anal gland issues recently, and what we recommended was use the baby wipes. And they have lavender, and they actually have a proprietary blend that you can't buy of something that Gary Young calls the calming blend. And it's in these products, and it's fabulous. It smells so good. There's a kids line. There's vitamins. There's bath gel for the children. There's toothpaste for the children. If you're using toothpaste and doing a multi-purpose thing with your dog, please don't use the children's line. It has xylitol in it. But if you use the toothpaste, the Dentarome, I believe it is. I think that Ultra Bright is the one I use. You could use that with your dog. You could share a toothpaste and brush your dog's teeth with the little stuff, right? So there's lots of options to, again, truly maximize that you're not out buying multiple consumable products from all these vendors. You start buying from yourself, and you maximize your incentives and your rewards, and suddenly it starts to make a whole lot more sense and a whole lot more economy because you're centralizing the products that you're using. Savvy Minerals is one of the things that I am most excited about. It is the new makeup line from Young Living. It has nothing bad for you in it. So I'm going to blow this up for people who are on the, I'm getting pop-ups. Hang on a second. It has no bismuth in it, no talc. So if you've been paying attention to the news, you're seeing where talc has been linked to a lot of women having issues, health issues with talc, right? Bismuth sulfates, we saw that in another post today, which is basically aspirin in Pepto-Bismol, and people are giving it to the dogs, and aspirin is inappropriate for their dogs, right? Mineral oil, there's no mineral oil in the mineral products. A lot of vendors who are using makeups, creating makeups, have mineral oil in it. The parabens that we talked about before, gluten is in a lot of makeup products. Those phthalates that we talked about, those plasticizers, are in a lot of your makeup product. Think things that are creating extensions on your eyelashes. What is that stuff? What is the fiber? It's not natural. I mean, that stuff doesn't happen naturally, right? But I know a lot of women are using, out of the mineral line, there's a product called the Veil. It's a powder, and they're putting it on their eyelashes and then adding the mascara and then do another coat of that little powder sort of to bulk them up and make them seem fuller. And that's an option that works using very natural ingredients. No petrochemicals. So a petrochemical is basically a fuel-based product, a gas or a petroleum-based product, right? There's no synthetic fragrance and no synthetic colorants. I'm going to do a Savvy Minerals presentation in my other Facebook group. So in the groups is where we're going to start doing a lot more depth in classes. And I'm going to talk about what's in some of the Beauty Counter products or some of the Unique products or Avon. Did you know that Avon is still testing on animals in China? They're not doing it in the US, so that a lot of people are like, oh, they're not animal testing. Dig a little deeper, go do your research and figure out what the reality of your company, of your products really is. I was in Young Living about 2 years before I realized they had a skincare line, moisturizers and things that would help with sort of dark spots, wrinkles, aging, that kind of stuff. They have a complete line of skincare products. Pair that with the makeup and you've got everything that you need. So that's just a quick overview of where we are being exposed to a lot of things that make us unwell or have the potential to make us unwell. And it's not just you as a woman or somebody watching this, but your children. And so my cousin has a newborn baby. Her daughter has a newborn baby. And so I'm like, you need to think about every time you pick up and bring baby, to your skin, whatever lotion you've put on your skin or whatever perfume you're wearing or whatever any of that stuff is, then you're exposing the baby to those things. And she started talking about, well, she uses special baby laundry soap. I said, well, what do you wash your clothes in? And it's like, well, whatever we get from the lower line of the big mega retailer, right? I'm like, your baby's touching that every single day. Your dog is touching that every single day. And so when you start thinking about, we really are exposing ourselves to some stuff that's potentially very risky. And now we know that there are better opportunities, there are better products. For me, like I said, for me, it was a no-brainer. But I took my time. I bought the starter kit. The first presentation I went to was not the first time I had been introduced to essential oil. When I started with essential oils, I can tell you the group that I bought some stuff from for the dogs. I call it lotions and potions, but I can't go back now and figure out where she sourced her product. She was getting stuff and making her own blends, right? Making her own potions. But I don't know where they originated. So that seed to seal thing comes back into play for me. But I went to the first meeting and walked out and didn't buy anything, thinking this is a bunch of snake oil, right? This can't be true. And the more I used it for the dogs with emotional, anxiety-based issues and saw really powerful results, then I said, well, what will it do for my dogs? What will it do for me? My mother got a very serious diagnosis, a recurrence of a diagnosis, and we started digging in to figure out what we can use for her. So it's not only essential oils, but it's essential oil-based supplements. So there's something for every system in our body. So that's when I went and bought the starter kit, because I knew that would get me a way to start experimenting and trying, again, what can I use to support? I'm trying to be compliant. What can I use to support joints? What can I use to support muscular discomfort, right? What can I use when my stomach is upset? All those things are built into this starter kit. And like I said, if the Thieves Cleaner interests you, you could make your first bottle of Thieves Cleaner out of the oil itself and then add the cleaner to your next purchase, for example. So I bought the kit, and I probably didn't buy anything else for several more months till I had another dog case, and then I wound up spending a whole bunch of money, not understanding the way to maximize the incentives that they offer. And once I got all of that figured out, I've been on sort of a plan of, as I run out of shampoo or as I run deodorant, I threw away. I just chucked it right out the door and ordered, right? But as I ran out of laundry soap, then I would buy the Thieves laundry soap. As I ran out of shampoo and conditioner, I would buy the Young Living product. And again, all of that now is creating incentives. I get points back as being part of the essential rewards. And you can earn back as much as 25% of what you spend, right? So now you're thinking, okay, this isn't so bad. It feels expensive, but they're going to give me 25% of it back, and then I can buy something else with that. And so that's when the magic and the rhythm of this started to work for me, and I've been able to transition my entire home and my entire bathroom products, shampoo, conditioner, bath gel, makeup. So do you guys have any questions? Stephanie, anything you wanted to add? I see a few people out on the Zoom. Do you guys have anything to add? Questions there? Looks like we might have lost Stephanie. Let me see if I can add her back. So if you have not yet joined the Facebook groups, I invite you to do that. I have two. One is the Well-Oiled, Well-Fed Canine. It's where we spend time talking about ways to support the dogs. For those of you who don't know, I am a dog trainer by trade. I've done animal rescue for a lot of years. I am working on my certification in veterinary aromatherapy for the animals. I guess that veterinary and animals is redundant, isn't it? But anyway, we have a group that people can pop in and ask questions about dogs and what oils or what supplements or products might support their animal. And then I have the sister group to that is starting to provide education and training topics on using oils and supplements and products for the animals, people. So feel free, and that group is just called Essential Believer. Join that group, and happy to share some information with you guys. I'm going to send out an announcement maybe later this week that talks about the two different groups and how it's going to differ from the main Facebook page, what the variance between those will be, so that it's less confusing for people and we streamline where our Facebook lives and that sort of thing will take place. In the future, all of them are going to be in one of those groups. Tomorrow night, we're talking about going back to school and the things that teachers can use to help their students with focus and clarity, things that moms and dads at home can use to help with potential anxiety-based issues that are, you know, the struggle of going back to school or getting a good night's sleep or when they're not eating as healthy as they should. So all of that's coming. So back to school is tomorrow night, and then all the new presentations will be dropped down into the groups. Okay? Any questions? Any feedback? Anything? Oh, Stephanie's coming back. Let's see if she wants to add any final talking points. And what I would ask any of you watching this, whether now or later, is please just go share the page. Please just make a comment on, hi there, on the Facebook
Hi.
That would be your gift back to me for a little bit of education tonight, is to help share and make other people aware. Deborah Cooley on the Zoom is saying another app is Think Dirty. I've heard about that one, Deborah. I have not installed it. So two apps for you guys to look at on your phone. One is EWG. Go to EWG.org. There's an app. I'll post it because I can't remember what the iPhone app's name is. And then the other app that Deborah's telling us about is Think Dirty. Okay? All right, Stephanie, we'll let you wrap us up.
Well, thank you, Dana. That was really informative. I really, really appreciate all of the great input and information. And I just wanted to say, you know, again, that I think the thing that really, sorry, I had to charge my phone, so I had to keep moving around. The thing that really, you know, that I really liked about Young Living was the seed to seal and the quality of the oils, and just how wonderful they have been, not only with the dogs that you showed me, you know, using them with the dogs and how all that's helped, but just with me too. Some of my favorites are Stress Away. I use that every night. It helps me sleep so much better. Purification is amazing because it keeps the bugs away. And you know, I mean, in Florida, they're awful.
Yep.
So those are just a couple of my favorites, and I've just really enjoyed, but I'm sort of like where you were, where you're just kind of going in, and I'm starting to now try to replace some of my not so good products with some of these better products that are much better for me. So, but I really appreciate everybody that joined in tonight and participated, and I really appreciate your help and all of the great information, and I can't wait to see some of your upcoming presentations too.
The ones she just the ones she just mentioned are all actually in the starter kit. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk about cedarwood, vetiver, and lavender, and how that helps make a very calming, but yet very clarity-based blend. One is you can do yourself. So think about a good night's sleep, or you're trying to sit down to work on a project, I should say, and how those oils are going to help. So think that back to school area. There's a 2-for-1, the way you can use those 3 oils to get some benefit for your kids or yourself. And so
that's great.
Join us for back to school tomorrow night. I'm going to take a break next week. I'm taking vacation.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm not doing any Facebook Lives. And then when we come back, we're going to drill down into the makeup, into the baby line. And don't forget, I have that dog group, and we're going to be talking about some animal stuff out there as well. So you guys have a great night. Message Stephanie, message me. If you tell me you saw this presentation, she's getting all the credit for any signups or any purchases that are a result of tonight's presentation.
Thank you.
Shares that she makes out of this presentation. So I'll email out the PowerPoint version of this from the Zoom when it saves. So if you want that, you need to go to the event and hit that link that says Zoom registration. Do it tonight, and then I'll email out copies probably tomorrow or Friday. Okay? Have a good night, everybody. See you soon.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye-bye.